What's going on, guys? It's Miss here, and before I start with this video, I want to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel and also turn on your notifications so that you don't miss an upload. About 80% of you watching this video most likely aren't subscribed, so again, if you haven't already, please do so. It would mean a big difference to me. And also, if you haven't already, drop a like on this video. It makes a big difference in helping this channel grow. So yeah, that's out of the way. Today I want to talk about Ben Simmons. He's in a very interesting situation because I still remember, like, when he came into the league, he was, a big deal. He was seen as the best prospect since LeBron James. He was seen as a mini LeBron. He won that Rookie of the Year, and it was supposed to be like, this is going to be the guy, the face of the league, and he was that talent. And, as the years have gone on, he's been great in a lot of moments, but this year particularly has been very struggle for him. It's been a struggle for him, and he's still like an all-star talent, and everyone acknowledges that. But at the same time, when you see what he did in the playoffs, and you see very obvious struggles that he has, and it's not just the shooting, it's just confidence in general, where he just can't be as aggressive as he can be, and it's not like the shooting is bad. Like, he can't shoot for the life of him, and of course that's a big deal. But when you watch him in those playoffs, not make free throws, not be as aggressive on offense, being very passive, passing up open opportunities, like, it's a big deal. And when you're on a team like the Sixers, where, on paper you're supposed to be a championship contender, especially this past season after you got the first seed in the East, the expectation was at the bare minimum to make the conference finals, and couldn't even do that. So, Ben Simmons right now is in a very interesting position because the process was going to be like, okay, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, these are the guys for the future. They're young, they're stars, and they're going to help this team and take us to the next level. And, the Sixers are a good team, but it's after this playoff, it just became very obvious that, like, this process is just not it anymore. Ben Simmons is not going to take us for as far as we want to, and it sucks because Joel Embiid is playing incredible basketball, almost won MVP, but then when you have Ben Simmons who isn't doing all these things, you have questions. And now it is going to be a question about, does he even come back, or is he gone? Now, Shams reported a couple of days ago that it's more than likely that Ben Simmons is going to be done with Philly, and it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when Ben Simmons is going to be out of Philly. So, the thing that I want to talk about specifically is just, like, what are his options? Because it's tough to figure out what is going to be his value and what teams are going to be willing to give up a lot for Ben Simmons, especially when Daryl Morey is the head of the Sixers, and he is known for being very stubborn with what he wants, right? That was part of the whole James Harden thing, right? The Sixers were in the running for James Harden, but Daryl Morey didn't want to give up a bunch of stuff, and if Harden had gone to Philly instead, if Harden was in Philly with Joel Embiid, maybe the situation would have been different. Maybe that Atlanta series would have been different. But hindsight is 2020, but still, I'm curious to know what team fits him. Like, first of all, let's just get his stats out of the way, because I think it paints a little bit of a perspective for him. He's averaging this past season 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. His shooting is, I don't know his true shooting percentage, but his field goal percentage is about 55%. 3-point shooting is obviously, like, terrible, but his true shooting percentage is about 58%. So that's down from previous years. His, scoring averages are down from previous years, which is a big problem when you're supposed to be the number 2 option on a championship contender. So, obviously there's stuff that there's stuff he's really good with, right? His defense is unstoppable, right? He was, I think, the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year, and, his playmaking is good. The way he can, make his passes and get guys open is good. But, again, is Philly the option? I just don't know how, after all of this discussion and after the playoffs and after this entire offseason, Ben Simmons stays. I just don't see it happening. I don't know where he's going to go, but I just don't see a situation where Ben Simmons can just come back like that. And obviously, Shams is saying that Ben Simmons doesn't even want to come back. He apparently is basically done with Philly. He wants to move on and start a new chapter somewhere else, which, you know, I can respect. Where he goes, that's going to be interesting. The biggest thing that I thought about was Portland, because I was thinking that it was around the same time that we were thinking like, okay, Damian Lillard's not happy with Portland. They're kind of a mess right now. So maybe, you know, Ben Simmons can just go to Portland and maybe help out. And, you know, if the Sixers are willing to do a trade for Ben Simmons without getting Damian Lillard in return, then obviously a team with Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Ben Simmons would be very good. But obviously, Daryl Morey's not going to do that. And we were thinking then maybe you can do a Ben Simmons swap for Damian Lillard, but that's not possible either because Damian Lillard doesn't want to leave. So at first I was thinking Portland would be a good spot for him, but now that I'm thinking about it, according to Shams, the Timberwolves and the Raptors are the two teams that have been kind of throwing out their interest in Ben Simmons and have been kind of inquiring about what they would need to give up to get Ben Simmons, right? And that's interesting to me because Shams said, and this is very fascinating, the Timberwolves, quote, have been motivated to find a deal for Simmons, but would likely require a third team to give in their asset pool of Malik Beasley, Jaden McDaniels, and D'Angelo Russell. That alone is not enticing the Sixers. So if that's the package that Minnesota is giving Philly, Malik Beasley, Jaden McDaniels, and D'Angelo Russell, and probably like a pick or two for Ben Simmons, I don't know how you say no to that. Like, obviously you're not getting a star player in return, but you're getting good young guys and probably some picks. You know, I don't see what the problem is. Malik Beasley is not bad. Jaden McDaniels is someone I'm very high on. He's a young guy with a lot of promise. And D'Angelo Russell, while he is not his best, he is still a guy who can help the Sixers. So I don't know what Daryl Morey is thinking if he's turning down that deal, because that to me is a steal. Like, if you can get him for that. And that's a lot too. It's a haul that Philly would get in this case. And if Daryl Morey's saying no to that, then I don't know what he's going to want, right? Another thing, so that's like Timberwolves. And obviously, like, if the Timberwolves do this, I really like that for them. Because, you know, you have Anthony Edwards, you have Karl Anthony Towns, and then you have Ben Simmons. I think that puts the Timberwolves, like, fighting for a playoff spot, in my opinion. I think that puts them fighting for a play-in spot or maybe even a playoff spot. But, I mean, you know, I don't know how you say no to that deal. That doesn't make any sense to me. But then the Raptors, I don't know what you could possibly give up to get Ben Simmons, because I'm sure that Daryl Morey would want to get in return Pascal Siakam, which I wouldn't do, in my opinion, or Fred VanVleet. I don't know if you'd even give that up, to be honest, because the Raptors, you know, Siakam and VanVleet are all they have right now. And you would want to hope that if you could somehow get Ben Simmons without losing those two, then yeah, the Raptors are in a good spot. But with how stubborn Daryl Morey is, I don't know how that happens. So it's just fascinating to me getting an idea of what Ben Simmons' market is and what his interest is, because it's not that there's no interest in Ben Simmons. There definitely is, because he's an all-star, but who wants to give up that much to get him? That's going to be the thing that we talk about probably heading into the season. I give it right before the regular season that Ben Simmons is gone. If I had to predict where he goes, I would say that it would be Minnesota, just because they are the ones who are more willing to give up a big amount to get him. So yeah, in my opinion, it's more likely that he goes to the Timberwolves. But at the same time, from now till training camp to the regular season, who knows what's going to happen, right? Another team can pop up and draw some interest, or Ben Simmons could change his mind and he might want to run it back with Philly. I don't know how you could do that, knowing what your ceiling is with that squad, but it's an option that they have. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm just very interested in what's going to happen with Ben Simmons come this season, because it's hard to predict what it's going to be, but it'll be interesting, like I said. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think about this Ben Simmons situation. Do you think he leaves? Do you think he stays? What teams do you think he should go to? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and also turn on your notifications so you won't miss an upload. And that's basically it. Thank you guys as always for your continued support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.